Yes, even the smallest Ewok can take a decent shot. We call this game Space Wars, so we don't get sued by a certain movie company. But you can call it anything you want, and may the Force be with you.
Let the Space Wars begin.
Here, we're working on dribbling, shooting, and hitting the bad guy, aka you, the coach. Use 4 cones to create a small square space. Every player gets a ball. You're Darth Vader, Jabba, Kylo Ren, or have your team pick a villain. Here's how it looks. Players dribble around the space, trying to vaporize you by shooting the ball and hitting you below the knee. This part is key to make the game fun for them, but safe for you. Tell your Jedi to dribble in close and shoot from close range only. And while it's unlikely to hurt, you can't go wrong throwing in a dramatic flop when you get nailed. Coaches, instead of aiming for a galaxy far, far away, remind players to focus on precision over power when shooting. And to keep their heads up to see their teammates and avoid friendly fire. Remember, dribble in close, take aim, get the bad guy. Much fun this game is. If flag football, tag, and soccer had a baby, it would be this game, DuckTales. Yes, just when you thought soccer couldn't be more fun, we've combined it with not 1, but 2 beloved games. Here, players use their wits and moves to maintain possession of the ball, or in this case, their tail, under pressure from an opponent. Use 4 cones to set up a square space, while each player tucks a penny in the back of their shorts. This is their tail.
Play!
Here's how it looks. Players dribble their ball around the space trying to steal a teammate's tail while protecting their own. Play several rounds, about a minute each. If you want to make it competitive, the player with the most tails at the end wins the round.
Oh, good job. Keep playing, keep playing.
We want players keeping their heads up and shifting their hips to protect their tails.
No, stand still. Oh, we got your tail.
All while controlling the ball and bursting away when they grab one from another player. Yes, this can be hard, but they'll have a great time trying, and it's also a pretty great way to develop their coordination and agility. Some kids might get plucked early. No elimination here. They just keep dribbling and try to get another tail. And if a tail falls off, just tuck it back in. Coaches, look for players who face their opponents instead of trying to outrun them. That's what we want. And it's how they'll eventually take on a defender. Eventually. Remember, heads up. Protect your tail. Face your opponent. Release the Quacken. Your players will definitely be going toe-to-toe in this one. This is Knockout. Here, we're working on players' shielding and poke tackling skills. In other words, we're teaching players to protect the ball and steal it at the same time. Use cones to mark a rectangular grid. Everyone gets a ball. Here's how it looks. Players dribble their balls randomly around the space. As they go, they try to steal other players' balls using poke tackles, like this, all while protecting their own ball. If a player's ball gets knocked out, it's 5 bell taps to keep playing, like this, passing the ball back and forth with the insides of their feet. What's a poke tackle? It's not like an NFL tackle. In soccer, it's when a player uses their foot to poke or knock an opponent's ball away, so they can steal the ball and make off with their prize. Yes, some players might get a little overzealous and step into a dribbler's path to tackle. Show them how to poke the ball away from the side or the back to keep it safe. Coaches, players are also learning to protect their ball here. If you haven't introduced shielding yet, encourage players to focus on trying to keep their body between the ball and their opponent.
Make sure that we shield the ball and protect the ball and keep the ball as far away from the defenders as we can.
Remember, heads up. Poke from the side, protect your ball. Whoa, where'd that toe come from?
In this one, we're taking a little inspiration from basketball to help your soccer. This is half-court soccer. A small-sided game is like a scrimmage with a twist. In this one, we're working on team attacking and defending skills while squeezing the game into half the space. Use cones to create a rectangular grid that's wider than it is long. On one end, add more cones to form a line. This will be your check line. Place your goal on the other end. Divide players into 2 teams, 1 in pennies. You can play 3v3, 4v4, or more. plus an optional additional player as goalie who rotates. Here, we're playing 3v3 plus a goalie. Here's how it looks. Players scrimmage, but both teams are trying to score on the same goal, just like in half-court basketball. The other rule we're stealing from hoops? If a team steals the ball, they need to clear it by dribbling it across the check line, like that, before they attempt to score. In other words, no quick steals and shots from close range. Other than that rule, we're working on the same skills as in other scrimmages, for attackers to spread out and work as a team to beat defenders. And for defenders to make a quick approach to the ball, then to get low and slow as they get close. Coaches, expect things to get a little congested since both teams are going for the same goal. Encourage your players to think of the check line as an opportunity to work on their passing skills and to use their shielding skills to maintain possession of the ball, like that, as they clear the ball and make their plan of attack. Remember, check the ball, spread out, take a shot. A little hoops flavor can make your practice even sweeter.
Lightning McQueen would definitely approve of this one. This is red light, green light. Here, we're working on dribbling, agility, and coordination. Use 4 cones to set up your space and give each player a ball. Here's how it looks.
Ready? And green light.
When you call
Anywhere you
green
want
light,
in the
they
square.
dribble fast. Tell them to imagine they're their favorite race car as they zoom around the space. Gratuitous car sounds are highly encouraged.
I can't hear you, I'm old. Yellow light.
On yellow light, they slow down, using small touches to keep the ball close to their body.
I love how you're keeping the ball within your force field. That's great.
On red light,
Red light.
they stop with 1 foot on the ball, like this. Keep calling different lights at random as they move around the space. After a minute or two, ask your players to suggest a new color and assign it a new action, like orange means swing your arms back and forth, or purple means dance your heart out. Repeat each color a few times after you add it to help them remember. This game is great for releasing lots of pent-up energy. Just call out lots of green lights. But remind players to keep their heads up to avoid collisions. It's not a demolition derby. Coaches, don't be surprised if your players can't stop the ball on a dime when you call red light.
Red light.
Red light, red light, red light!
Emphasize small touches to keep the ball close and to try using the sole of their foot to stop the ball. Remember, green means go, yellow means slow, and purple means whatever you want. Luckily, these cars run on water and orange slices. If you're from Slytherin House, this one will be perfect for you. It's called Snake. Here, we're helping players learn to communicate as a team while developing their agility and coordination. Use 4 cones to mark your space and make one of your players the snake.
Koan is going to be the beginning of our snake. He is the only one without a ball.
Here's how it looks.
Go! Oh my gosh. Come on, snake. See who you can get. All right. Jose! Be part of Koan's snake.
The snake runs around trying to tag other players, while everyone else dribbles around trying not to get tagged.
See if you can tag somebody. Did you get him?
I did.
All right, Greg, give me your ball.
Once the snake tags a player, they grab the back of the snake's shirt and join forces to tag more players. One hitch. They must stay connected for a tag to count.
1, 2, 3, hiss!
Did we mention hissing by the snake is encouraged?
Hiss, hiss.
Yes, it is. The game ends when all players have become part of the snake, and you can start again with a new volunteer. Part of what makes this game so great is it's a tag game, but with benefits. Tag is a classic for a reason. It's fun. But here, players get all the coordination work that comes with it, plus the challenge of moving in sync with others, which is hard enough for adults, and hilarious here. Because the snake will fall apart. Like, a lot. Coaches, communication is key. Encourage your players to call out who they're going after so the snake can move as one unit. And remind the non-snakes to keep their heads up to find space that's snake-free. Remember, stay connected, communicate with your teammates, heads up. We mentioned the hissing, right?
Why should rectangles have all the fun? We're mixing it up in Triangle Goal Game. Here, we're working on passing and communication skills.
Hey, look at the gate.
Use 4 cones to create a rectangular space, and use cones to place 6-foot triangles randomly throughout your space. Divide your players into pairs. You'll need at least as many triangles as you have pairs. Give every pair a ball. Here's how it looks. Pairs move around the space, trying to score goals by passing the ball to one another through a triangle, just like that.
There we go. Game realistic. Keep moving, keep moving.
After each goal, they move on to a new triangle and continue scoring until you call time.
3, 2, 1, and time. Good job, boys.
Play short rounds, about a minute or 2 each. Encourage players to keep track of their goals, then try to beat their own score the next round. Some players may hit the ball too short or too far. Others may stop the ball to take aim. The more practice they get, the more fluid this game will become. It's as much about teamwork as it is about passing. We want players finding and moving towards their next goal right after they pass and letting their teammate know where they're headed. Coaches, when players receive a pass, encourage them to take their first touch towards their next target. Bonus points to pairs who communicate well. Literally, they'll score more.
Good pass.
Remember, work as a team, communicate, pass to score. Please don't pass on this game. What do you get when you cross keep away with an iconic Spanish soccer club? This is Rondo 5v2. Yes, the game you thought you invented at recess was actually developed by FC Barcelona, and it helps players develop their passing and teamwork skills. Create a square with your cones. Arrange your players in a circle just inside your cones, with 5 attackers on the outside and 2 defenders in the center. Give your defenders pennies, to hold, not to wear, since players will trade positions often.
Shifting and moving the whole time. Let's go. Play.
Here's how it looks. It's classic monkey in the middle. The attackers pass around or between the defenders, who try to win the ball. The idea is quick, controlled touches. The more, the better, but if a pass goes out of bounds or is intercepted, the attacker who last touched it swaps places with a defender. The best players in the world train with this game because it mimics what happens on the field: passing in tight spaces, quick thinking, and cooperation. Keep track of consecutive passes and try to top that number as a team each round.
Play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love it.
Coaches, encourage your attackers to draw defenders in before passing. Defenders, meanwhile, should avoid lunging in for the ball. Remind them to stay balanced and communicate with their partner. Remember, controlled touches, short passes, cooperation. You'll be coaching Barcelona in no time, or not.
A zig here, a zag there, and soccer heaven awaits. This is Gates Dribbling. This one's a classic, and for good reason, since dribbling is one of soccer's most important skills. Here, we've combined it with scoring goals, which, we checked, pretty much all kids like. Use cones to set up a rectangular grid and place pairs of cones arm's length apart, randomly throughout the space. These are your gates, aka goals, and aim for as many gates as you have players. Here's how it looks. Players dribble through as many gates as possible before you call time, like this. Players should keep their heads up, looking for their next target as they cross each gate. It may be tough for them to switch direction with the ball at this age, but we're looking for the try.
What's up?
Expect players to take big touches and try to shoot their balls through the gates. Ball control is what's important here. Remind them to take small touches and dribble the ball. You can tell them they have a force field that goes as far as their arms in every direction, and that they want to keep the ball inside it when they dribble. This should work because we also checked kids like force fields too.
Heads up!
Coaches, if you happen to have a pool noodle, you can up the challenge by using it to block certain gates or knock balls away.
Hey, I'm the knight. I'm guarding the castle.
What's up? How you doing? How you doing?
It's a great way to challenge your skillful players while keeping the game accessible for everyone. Remember, small touches, force fields of control, heads up. You might need some Gatorade after this one.
When in doubt, talk it out.
Here, to the gates.
The game is Gates Passing. Here, we're developing players' passing and communication skills. Use cones to set up a rectangular grid and place pairs of cones arm's length apart randomly throughout the space. These are your gates. Divide your players into pairs, each with a ball. Here's how it looks.
Ready and begin. Let's go.
Pairs dribble around the grid, trying to score as many goals as they can by passing to each other through the gates until you call time.
Keep it basic.
Done well, it might look like this. Players working together to move fluidly from one gate to the next. If done not so well, you'll know it when you see it. And by the way, that's okay. Practice makes progress. Coaches, encourage players to tell their teammate where they plan to go next and to head there after passing, while receivers direct their first touch towards their target. Remember, pass and move. Soft touches, work as a team. Simple passes, coaching bliss.